Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm outside the arena for the City of Palms Classic. It was great watching a number of games. I actually watched 7 on Friday and then 4 more on Saturday. We're going to talk about these games and Miami prospects, some targets, some recruiting. It's just great being back out here in Fort Myers, Florida for this event. Been here a number of years, over the years, even when I was back at the high school. And it starts today. Both days I had a chance to watch Miami signee Austin Swartz out of North Carolina, and head coach Jim Larrañaga was here as well. So he coached. They had a game the night before at 8 o'clock, and then 8 in the morning today, I saw him right there. He was ready to go there for pregame, watching Austin play. So that was good. And Austin didn't have a great performance in this one, just 10 points. His team had a tough matchup against Ace Bailey, who's absolutely fantastic. He scored 43 points in this one. Certainly a future pro. Looks like a one-and-done guy going to Rutgers. And then also Dylan Harper had a huge game as well. I'll talk about that as I had a chance to watch him against Columbus, featuring the Twins. You guys know about the 2025 duo in Cameron Boozer and Caden Boozer. I'm going to talk about them. And then also another guy that Miami has offered, another 2025 target out of Ohio, and that's Dorian Jones. Had a chance to watch him. Alex Lloyd has had a great performance this week. I haven't had a chance to see him in person, but he's put up big numbers. Another 2025 guy out of South Florida, the Westminster Academy. He's had big performances, and Miami certainly is very interested in him as well. They've only offered 10 2025 prospects at this point, actually, so not a lot of guys. But, the guys that they're on right now are really good, and I'll get into that. But let's go back to Austin a little bit. So 10 points a day, just got off to a slow start, had a tough matchup. I thought they were double teaming him on some traps. He's a guy that's listed as a shooting guard, can score 20 at any point, scored 27 the day before, just 9 of 13 shooting, really effective, really efficient shooting. He finished with 18 in the second half in yesterday's win, comeback win. But today they were just doing a really good job defensively of trapping him, not making it easy, and then off the ball, the times he was off the ball, he just couldn't get free enough. So just not a lot of shot opportunities, just not a lot of free looks, and that's going to happen. He's a top 50 guy, a 4-star recruit. And the thing that really stood out to me, and I talked to him yesterday, I talked to him both days, but I talked to him about just his game, and he's known as a shooter. He can certainly knock down threes. He's really good at dribbling into threes and freeing up space, but he also did a couple other things with his game that impressed me. I think he does a very good job of getting to the rim, not just settling for three-pointers, but he does a good job of finishing at the rim, and making moves there. And then also I think his passing ability is there. And I know he's listed as a shooting guard. Talked to his coach a little bit. He understands the combo guard stuff, and that he runs point for them. So I think offensively he did a good job. I think defensively he's got work to do. I think anybody that watches him, I think he knows. His coach actually mentioned it too. So there's some work defensively that he'll need to do, and just knowing Coach Larrañaga and what he expects from his players, especially freshmen, to play immediately. They've got to be good defensively. So that'll be the big thing for Austin. But overall, he played 3 games at this event, averaged 16 points a game, and just a good performance by him most of the time. And again, it was just really good seeing him out here. He's all of 6'4", what he's listed at. So, he's got certainly, I like his strength, and I think he's able to finish through some contact and some fouls when I talk about getting to the rim. So that was good to see, in addition to knocking down three-pointers, as I mentioned. So let's talk about the Twins. Just a disappointing 2 games in terms of the results by their team. Columbus drops both games. They followed a Link Academy, who's absolutely stacked, a really good team there yesterday. And, it was one of those games where they started off a little bit slow. It felt like they gained control of the game and then just lost it kind of later on. And Link just had a lot of guys, particularly on the perimeter, just a trio of guards that are really fantastic, really highly regarded guys. So they just kind of got overwhelmed by the guard play there. And then, and I thought, Caden Boozer in that game did a really good job as a guard, scoring the bucket. He does such a good job on both ends of the court, and I think Cameron does as well. Obviously, the number 1 ranked junior, and I think part of it is because of just what he can do defensively, really disrupted down inside the block, inside the paint, blocking shots, affecting shots, rebounding the ball at a really high level. But I thought Caden did a good job making shots there in yesterday's game, and scored over 20 points in that one. And I thought he did good. Sometimes he kind of will divert in terms of his passing ability, does such a good job there. And then also today, Caden just didn't have that offensive firepower that we saw yesterday's game, but he does finish with 15 points, but they lose today as well, falling to Don Bosco Prep in a game that was about runs. And Dylan Harper, I touched on him earlier, had 38 points in this one. Rutgers is getting a fantastic duo, and seeing him get 38, and Ace Bailey scoring 43 earlier in the day. I actually asked Dylan after the game if he had talked to Ace and if he was aware of it, and he said he hadn't a chance to talk to him, but his phone was blowing up, and just to be able to put up that many points at 8 in the morning, playing a high school game, a highly competitive game, is really impressive. So Dylan certainly made it tough for the Columbus team just to get it going as he continued to make shots, but in the third quarter, Columbus did a really good job of going on a big run, and the Twins had a huge part of that. I heard a reporter speaking after the game that he said at one point in the third quarter, they combined to score 27 consecutive points, which just really shows you the impact that these two guys have on a basketball game. And it really felt like at that point that Columbus would take control. They were up by 6 to 8, kind of even into the fourth quarter. And then they got up by 9 with 5 to go, and Dylan really just didn't let them go down like that. So Cameron goes to the free throw line down 2, about 15 seconds left, and he's a really good free throw shooter, but he makes the first one and then misses the second one, and really just kind of left the door open, and then Columbus was chasing points, and again, Dylan kind of led him down the stretch, and Columbus lost. So just disappointing these two games, but playing two of the best teams in the country, some top level players that they're seeing, and that's what this tournament's all about. You're seeing in the 24/7 Sports composite, or just their rankings overall, the top 6 players rated in the country. I got a chance to see all 5 of these 6, including number 1 player Cooper Flagg. Had a chance to watch all of these guys. It was good seeing these guys, not just the ones that Miami is targeting, but guys that are signed to ACC teams, what to expect. Duke certainly, I've seen those guys play, what they're getting with their class, and Duke's certainly going to be tough. And and head coach John Shire was here. In addition to, I mentioned Jim Larinaga, saw Juwan Howard last night was here. All these guys sitting courtside. So just a great atmosphere at these games, particularly the night games. Are still Friday night, Saturday night. We'll wrap it up. Carmelo Anthony, whose son is at the event, he was here last night. So again, just a lot of high-level basketball guys. If you haven't been to the tournament yet, I highly recommend it. It's always a lot of fun. So even though he had the missed free throws there, Cameron, he still finished with 30 points, 11 rebounds, really showing why he's considered the best junior in the country. And one of the things that I noticed in both days, he really pays a lot of attention in pregame warm-ups, knocking down shots. And I remember a coach saying, work on shots either in practice or pregame that you're going to use for the games. And he certainly does that, because he takes what he does during pregame, applies it during the game, and we saw him today, knocking down mid-range shots, 15-footers, whether it be baseline, he'll knock them down, right at the free throw line. Also, he'll step out and knock down three-pointers. It's not just the ones where he's wide open, if there's a guy guarding him, he's willing to take that shot, and it's really what makes him really effective. And then late down the stretch too, another thing, they were putting the ball in his hands, which is at 6'9", 6'10", it's really impressive that his ball handle ability, to make the right pass, but also his dribble drive ability to take his defender, off the dribble and finish at the rim. And that's what makes him so tough. He can score in different ways. I really like his makeup. I really love how he plays both ends of the floor. Just does a really good job. And just kind of being down courtside, just listening to the way he talks to his teammates or whatever it might be. I just like the way he kind of approaches the game. I think that's just such an important factor with all of these guys, these high-level guys, but certainly a fantastic player. And again, Caden played well also, and like what he did today and also yesterday. And then also just talking about the other guy that Miami offered that's here, a target that they really like, that Dorian Jones, as I mentioned earlier, just a really smooth player, plays both ends of the floor. Once again, it's a common thread, what I like in players, being able to do that. He's got good size, certainly looks young, 6'4", 6'5", can shoot the three, also can drive, and I just like his overall game. He can handle the ball, and certainly you understand why Miami likes him. And I think when there's guys from certain parts of the country that you've not heard about Miami really targeting, we know about the Northeast, and certainly these guys here in Florida that they like. But out of Ohio, certainly seeing Dorian and his abilities, what he's able to do there, I just think he's an impressive player, and you can understand why he's getting some offers. Miami offered him in September, so it's still new to him. But for Miami to offer a guy, and I've said this a number of times on the website, but they don't just throw offers around. I just know this coaching staff, the way it's operated under Jim Larinaga, there's two things. They're not going to offer a guy unless they at least feel like they've got some sort of chance in landing him. So just putting that out there. And then number two, it's a big thing in terms of the other thing that coaches mentioned it. He likes to be around guys he enjoys, that he wants to coach. So he's not going to deal with certain, and it could be, just different personalities or 4 different coaches, but the players, they're all quality guys, and they do their due diligence on finding guys that coach really enjoys. So those are the 2 things I'll say when they put out offers. It's not like football where it's a big, you're casting a big net. They're very selective, and you understand why, because you're not getting a bunch of guys in a class. Sometimes maybe it's 1 or 2 guys, maybe 3 or 4 if it's a bigger class, but they have to be very selective on who they want and the styles and the abilities that they're looking for when they do offer scholarships. So before I wrap this up and get out of here, I'm not going to be able to see the end of the 2 days, and didn't get a chance to see the beginning, just so busy with football, but I'm glad I got out here, watched 11 games. Really, really happy about that. And I'll have a full recap with stats and more analysis. There's also some other names that I know Miami's been evaluating. I'm going to put that out there for the VIP subscribers, that I've got a name in particular that I know they're evaluating out here. And maybe they'll offer based on how he performed, and I'll have video of him as well as the other guys. I'm looking forward to putting together a video of Austin so you can see his abilities, thinks he's doing well offensively, as well as the twins and Dorian Jones also. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. Hopefully you guys have good holidays. It's a busy season for everybody, getting everything in, and hopefully you can take a break and enjoy things, and enjoy being around people you enjoy being around, friends, family, and everything. So I want to thank everybody for your support. It's always a good time with the holidays just to express my gratitude with the support I've received, not just this year or recently, but just over the years. And being at an event like this is just a reminder of how long I've been doing this, and just really enjoying the memories of doing things like this, continue to do them. I still enjoy the grind and working to provide you guys, the viewers, the fans, with as much content as possible. So thank you. Hopefully you have a good rest of the weekend. Happy holidays, and take care.